Greetings, greetings, greetings. June Allen here from juneallen.net. So today I want to talk to you about four different types of control. Okay, four different types of controlling behavior. But before I get into that, I just want to share with those of you who don't know anything about me. So my name is June Allen, and I'm the founder of the Art of Greatness at juneallen.net. And I teach Black women who struggle with self-love, sisterhood, and sobriety. So I came into doing this work back in 2009. I started my own personal journey back then as a result of being in a relationship that was very dysfunctional. And I just needed to figure out why I kept finding myself in these situations that weren't helpful, in these relationships that weren't healthy. So I went into 12-step recovery, had an amazing experience, learned so much about myself, but there was no cultural context. Okay. I didn't understand how to use the fact that I was a Black woman, what it meant to be a Black woman living under the system of racism, and how that applied to my healing process. I didn't see a lot of stuff around at that time, especially in recovery, around that the cultural context. So I then became obsessed with reading, trying to understand, trying to find out what was going on and how I could actually start to apply the cultural context to my healing process. And as I began to do all of that, the light bulb just started going off around this whole thing making sense. And as I understood and learned all of this stuff, I started sharing it a lot more publicly. And that's how the Art of Greatness was born. So yeah, people started asking me lots of questions and started asking me for feedback, and and asking me for advice about how to work with certain things or how to deal with certain things. And I got so much out of it. And I was in therapy as well at the same time. And so that's when I decided that, I can't be the only person that needs this. I can't be the only person that is struggling with the things that I'm struggling with. So that's when I decided that I wanted to train to become a therapist. So I'm basically on the last leg of my training now. I'll be finished next year. I'll be finished next July. So I'm really, really excited about that. And yeah, so the Art of Greatness is doing well. I have an amazing group of women that I work with on a regular basis, and we are definitely doing the work. We're definitely doing the work. So if anything that I've said makes sense to you and you would like an opportunity to work with me, to join the mastermind, then you can go to heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. There'll be a link in the description below, so that you'll be able to sign up from there. Okay. So part of the mastermind, part of being can't speak. Part of being in the mastermind, we actually have a book club. Okay. And we're currently reading What Mama Couldn't Tell Us About Love. Okay. So it's a book that is all about, what she does is she takes the historical context of racism, and she basically she speaks to Black women to explore the impact of our history on our ability to have healthy relationships. Okay. So, it's a great book. It's a bit of a tough read because she does really go in on some subjects. But what we do in the book club is we take our time. We read the text out loud in the session. So you don't have to have read any of the previous chapters. We take the topics out of each chapter and then we discuss them as a group. We discuss them as a group so that we can share our experience. And, I share my experience. I share therapeutically. I share my own stuff that went on for me if it's relevant. And we also share tools. So you don't come out of reading thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with all of these feelings and whatever. You will have the opportunity to be able to process what comes up for you in the session. There's also support tools as well that I have there's a huge library that I have in the mastermind. And as part of the book club, you'll get access to that library with all of the resources. So even if you miss a week or whatever, you can always go back and have a look at the resources, that I've suggested for you to look at. So it might be some videos that I've recorded previously about certain things in the come up in the chapter, or stuff that's, there might be a course thing or whatever I've done. There's loads of resources, different tips and tools and whatever for you to help you to work through whatever comes up for you in the session. So what I wanted to pull out today, I was reading, what I always do is I always read the chapter ahead, or the bit that we're going to read in the session for this particular week. And there's a really great there's a really great breakdown in here about 4 different types of controlling styles. And I thought it was really good to do that. Last week, I talked about, are you the controlling one in the relationship? So today I want to share 4 controlling styles, and I've kind of adapted them to kind of make more sense. Okay. So I'm going to share these 4 things. Okay. So that's the book. All right. Don't forget, that's the book. And I'm going to share these 4 styles. Okay. So the first one is blame. Okay. Blame. Are you the type of person that when you're trying to control the other person, you're always blaming them? Okay, you're blaming them. You're not empathetic. You're not willing to explore and unpack and have a conversation. You immediately go to blaming the other person so that you can control. You want to get whatever you want out of the situation. So if blaming the other person means that they're the ones who have to take responsibility, you want them to take responsibility, but you don't want to take responsibility for your part in it at all. Okay, that's number one. Okay, number one. The other thing about blame as well is that there's a lot of anger involved. You know, you don't want to take responsibility for yourself, so you end up just gaslighting the other person. You know, you did this, you made me do it, it's your fault, you know, you made me feel. All of these types of, this is all controlling, blaming behavior. Okay, and if you're in a relationship with somebody that does that, that is a massive red flag. Okay, you need to take ownership for yourself. Okay, in your part in any of the fights or whatever the arguments that come up, you need to take responsibility for your part in it. Okay, and the other person needs to be able to do that as well, so that you can come together and resolve whatever is going on. Okay, you can resolve it in a healthy way. Okay, so that's number one, is blame. The second type of controlling behavior, okay, is to intellectualize. Okay, this is a massive one in our community. This is a massive one in our community. I see it all the time. People talk about self-knowledge, knowledge of self and whatever. And what they're really doing is acquiring information, okay, okay, but not actually doing the internal work. Okay, so what happens there is that you're really minimizing how you feel. You're minimizing and you're you're minimizing, you're just gathering information, because what's really happening is you're trying to control how you feel. You're trying to control really the war that's going on inside you by just trying to control, by trying to just gather loads and loads of information. And I see this all the time. You know, people think that just reading the books and gathering information is doing the work, and it's not. It's you trying to control the anxiety, maybe the anxiety that comes with sitting with yourself, with having an honest conversation with yourself, with telling the truth about how you feel. Okay, so instead of being in your body, you're unable to actually go in your body. All of your thinking is from the neck up. Okay, all of your thinking is from the neck up. You can't feel anything because it's just too painful. All right, so you want to control everything by staying from here up. So you really think that, you know, reading more, getting more information, going to do another course, going to do another master's or a PhD, gathering all of this information. So intellectualizing, okay, intellectualizing. It's a massive one in our community. A massive one in our community. So are you that person? Are you that person that just continually keeps reading loads of books, gathering loads of information, researching, doing stuff on the internet, but you're not actually ingesting the content? You're understanding the content intellectually, but you're not actually ingesting it at heart level. There's a difference. Okay, you can get through loads and loads of books and not move the needle at all on your healing process, because all you're doing is you're just taking stuff in intellectually and understanding stuff, but from the neck down it's numb. Okay, because and the reason why you're doing that is again, it's a survival thing. It's you trying to understand yourself, but you're not able to actually get into your body. You're trying to control how you feel, okay, by just focusing on how you think. Okay, and that's not going to help you to heal. You have to get into the body. All right, so are you that person? Are you trying to control what's going on for you, how you feel, by spending a lot of time overthinking things and reading too much and acquiring loads of information? I know I've been in that place, and so it's easily done. Okay, so number 3 is distraction. Okay, distraction. This is the third controlling behavior. Okay, so when we're distracting ourselves, again, it's another way, just very much, bit much like intellectualizing, actually, is where we're just avoiding ourselves. We can find 101 other things to do except sit in the present, except deal with the reality of what's going on in front of our faces. Okay, so this is really, really important. This is really, really, really important for you to sit and be and think about, okay, well, what am I doing to distract? If you're distracting yourself, that's a clear indication that there's often pain or discomfort or anxiety underneath that. It can be grief, it can be so many different things. And for us as Black people living under the system of racism, trying to deal with so many different things, it kind of makes sense why we have so many different things, why we procrastinate. So many of us can beat ourselves up for procrastinating and saying, oh, why can't I just get on with it and whatever. But really what's underneath a lot of that is a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of grief. And that's your way of trying to get through the day, your way of trying to avoid the pain of what's and trying to avoid the pain that you've been carrying for too long. And if you, like I was saying before, if you're numb from the neck down, there's more chance that you are going to do things that are going to distract you, because you've had to disconnect from your body in order to survive. Okay, so think about that. Do you control? Are you that person that uses other people, that uses other things or behaviors or whatever it is to distract from being present? Okay, to distract from being present. All right, so the fourth and last one is people pleasing. Okay, that's the last controlling style. Now you might think, oh well, I'm just a nice person and I like doing things for other people, but are you actually doing all these things for other people for you to actually what's underneath all of that is, if I'm a nice person, I'm going to get what I want. Okay, if I'm a nice person, if I do all of these things and overgive and all the rest of it, am I going to get what I want from that person? So in a way, you're trying to control, you're trying to manipulate the other person, because you're afraid, there's a fear. And underneath all of this controlling behavior is often a fear of abandonment, a fear of not being loved, a fear of being judged. So we overgive. Okay, we overgive. We give too much. We give too much. And as Black women, we know that's a huge thing for us. We overgive, we people please, we abandon ourselves, we don't think about our needs, we do all of this stuff because we're afraid of what we're going to feel. We're afraid of abandonment. We're afraid of the other person not liking us. And so we think that we have to do all of these things. Okay, we feel like we have to do all of these things in order to stay in relationship with people. Okay, so think about these things. Think about these things. In order to stop with these controlling behaviors, it comes with self-awareness. You have to be willing to stop and pause and think, okay, why am I saying this to this person? Why am I blaming them? What am I really angry and upset about? What am I actually distracting? What is that thing that I really don't want to look at that I know I need to look at? Okay, because the controlling behavior is just a symptom of other stuff that's going on underneath. And you've got to be willing to take a pause and think, okay, well, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need right now? What is underneath all of this behavior that's not serving me, that's actually not actually helping me be in relationships that are healthy? What do I need to do? So it does come down to self-awareness. It comes down to self-awareness. And this is something that, we talk about a lot in the book club. As we read the text and we unpack it, the ladies will share their experience around whatever topics come up. And then there's an opportunity for us to really, in sharing it, that's how the self-awareness actually happens. In sharing it, in feeling the things that are underneath all of the controlling behavior, the dysfunctional behavior, the people pleasing, the distraction, whatever it is, the intellectualizing. When we're ready to have those conversations in a safe space where we're going to be held, that's when we can really, really start to change things, because then we become more conscious. And as we grieve whatever's going on underneath all of the behaviors, it's easy for us to let things go and to not act out in this controlling way. you know. So if this if this has touched you today, if anything that I've said today has moved you, or you identify with these behaviors, you know, you can join us in the book club. If you click the link in the bio, go to heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. You can join us for the book club. It's Thursdays at 8 p.m. London time. Okay, 8 p.m. London time. And any questions, you can either send me a DM, or you can send me an email, info@yardofgreatness.com. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. All right, take care. Bye-bye.